Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And Marianne behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food and Mere. Today, we are going to make a bunch of jalapeno cheddar beer bread. How does that sound?
It doesn't sound good to me.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't like beer.
Well, you know what? You won't even taste it. Well, maybe you will. But it sounds good to me. And this recipe is one that I like because, you know why? It's a one bowler. Okay, Mare?
Okay.
In other words, everything gets dumped into one bowl. So we like that. And it's what we call a quick bread. You know what a quick bread is, Toots?
You make it quick.
You do make it quick, and the reason you make it quick is it is a bread that doesn't use yeast for the rising. It uses baking soda or baking powder. You know, like muffins and things like that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you use yeast in a bread, you have to wait, right, for that yeast to
Right,
rise and develop. Well, in this case, you don't. So it's referred to as a quick bread. So let me show our friends kind of what we've got here. First of all, in this big bowl right here, honey, there is 4 1/4 cups of self-rising flour. So there's all-purpose flour, right, which is just your standard regular flour, and then there's self-rising. The self-rising flour has baking powder, baking soda, and salt already mixed in. Okay? So it's important. We want to use 4 1/4 cups of self-rising flour. By the way, the recipe will be posted, and you know where it always is?
Below the description.
Thank you very much. Below the description. Okay, so 4 1/4 cups of self-rising flour. Here I've got 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay? We're going to put that in. I'm going to do my dries first. Then I've got 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Okay? We're going to put that in. Then I've got a teaspoon of salt. Okay? We're going to put that in. And then let's blend all that and just sort of get it all mixed through our dry ingredients. I know you're not a beer drinker, Mare, but you stick to the hard stuff. But, you know, beer is an ingredient in a number of things. Like there are beer brats, you know, brats that you kind of cook in beer. And a lot of people put a little beer in chili sometimes to give...
Beer can chicken? Yes,
beer can chicken. You know, I'd like to make some of that. And I guess I'm going to ask our food friends if you have something that you like to make that has beer as an ingredient, why don't you share it in the comments? I'd love to know. But beer bread is a fairly common one. Okay. Now, I've got 2 eggs here, Mare, slightly beaten. Okay?
Okay.
We are going to put these eggs in here. And I'm going to, let me use a spatula to get all that out. Okay. Then I've got a good cup of grated cheddar cheese. This is freshly grated. If you want to use pre-grated cheese, you can, and I do sometimes. It's a step saver. But you know what I don't like sometimes about that pre-grated cheese, Mare?
It has chemicals in it.
It does, because you can see the cheese will stick together.
Yeah.
You know, and so they put stuff in it so that it doesn't stick. And sometimes you don't. It's an off flavor. Okay. Then I've got a can of diced green jalapenos. We're going to put those in. You could use any kind, if you wanted something more mild, you could use, a mild chili or something like that. And then, honey, we can't have jalapeno cheddar beer bread without beer. Now, here's the thing. Room temperature beer, okay? Save the ice cold beer for yourself. I think maybe it's room temperature so the cook won't drink it, because nobody wants warm beer, right?
Right.
So we're going to just add, you could add a bottle or a can, 12 ounces of beer, okay? And then we are going to stir this all together. You see that foaming action? So the beer is going to mix with the leaveners in the self-rising flour, the baking powder, baking soda, and that's going to give it its lift. Now we're going to mix this together until it's just mixed and everything is moist, okay? And we've gotten all the dry flour mixed in. So just mix it up here. I got to tell you, it smells good already, honestly. So, Marianne, I have preheated our oven to 375 degrees. And we are still baking in our 1954 General Electric Liberator double oven range. But I think we're getting close. It's probably going to be time for a
stove exchange.
Stove exchange, yes, ma'am. And I'm kind of waiting for our sweet young friends, Chris and Richard, to come by for a visit so I could put their young, strong backs to work. If not, Ralph and I'll do it. But anyways, I don't think I've made you help move a stove yet, have I?
No, I've only did the camera
You do
work.
the camera, right, okay. So anyways, all right, see, this is what we've got now, Mare. It's all mixed together. You see that?
Yeah.
We're going to stop in the name of bread and just let it rest for about 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
And let the flour get good and moistened. And while it's doing that, I've got 2 loaf pans, sort of standard size, that we're going to do. We're going to divide that batter in half, and we're going to make 2 loaves of this bread. I have greased the inside of this pan with nonstick spray, okay? So while our dough is resting, I'm going to get things cleaned up, and then we'll come back, get our loaf pans filled and in the oven for our jalapeno cheddar beer bread. Okay, Mare, we're going to go ahead and divide our batter here in half and put half in each one of these loaf pans. If you wanted to do individual muffins out of this, I think you could. You know, use like a cupcake tin.
Yeah.
That would be a fun way to make this as well. But this is a lot of dough, so I would not advise putting it together and trying to make one giant loaf, because I think with this batter, and given the type of batter it is, I would worry that it would not all bake all the way through, that it might be still uncooked in the center, if it was too dense, if it was too big of a mass of dough.
Plus, it would really rise over the pan.
Yes. Or if you wanted to put it in a larger dish, baking dish, I still wouldn't do it because, I think I would worry that it might not bake all the way through. All right. Does that look about even? It's going to have to be. I'll take a little out of here. Okay. When something's not absolutely cookie cutter perfect, that's how you know it's homemade, right?
Right.
Okay. So here are our two loaves. Center rack, and this is going to bake at 375. Check it at 45 minutes. It might need up to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on the timer, and then we'll pull it out. Well, honey, it's been 45 minutes, and ooh, they are done. I can just tell by the look. They have separated from the edge of the pan. You can always do the old toothpick test. You know that one, don't you, Mare?
Yep.
Where we take a toothpick and we put it in and we pull it out, and if it's dry, then we know we've got a baked through bread, cake, whatever it might be. So I'm going to, let me see. I think I want to take these out of the pan. Look at that. And we're going to let them cool. On the cooling rack. And then, of course, they're going to be really good warm.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to freeze one and see how they freeze. But they sure look good. Anyways, cannot wait to try this jalapeno cheddar beer bread. Well, honey, I think it's time. Time to cut into this bread. It's still warm, not hot, but it's warm. I'm going to cut. Get a close-up of that inside. You see that cheese?
Yeah.
You see the pepper?
Uh-huh.
Yep. So here is the end piece, otherwise known as
the heel.
The heel, because don't you always say I'm a big heel? So we're going to put a little bit of butter. Yeah, that's right. That's a little bit of butter on this warm bread. And try it. Wow. Honey, you see that crust going around it?
Yeah.
So you have that crisp crust. Of course, this is the end, so it has more crust on it than a normal piece, but that's fine by me. But then you got that cheesiness in it. Yeah. Of course, it's great because it's still warm. And you know what you don't really taste?
The beer?
Right. But you know what goes great with eating buttered beer bread? How about a nice one of these? Ooh, just to wash it down. But, wow. Well, folks, I don't know what to tell you, except this is delicious. Um, Again, if you didn't want the hot jalapeno, you could use a milder chili pepper that's diced, just the can.
Or you could even leave them out and
You
just
could
have
leave.
cheese bread.
You could do a cheese beer bread.
Cheese beer bread.
You got to have the beer in there,
Yeah.
okay? Because that helps it rise and gives it a little body. But you're right, honey. You could just leave it out. But boy, is this good. This would be good with soup, with chili, with any kind of dinner where you need a good crusty kind of rusticy bread. This is perfect. So, recipe below the description. Mayor, let's give them the website.
Cavalcadefood.com.
Thank you. And I'll thank my sister for working camera duty again.
You're welcome.
And we'll thank our food friends for spending a few minutes with us as we made this delicious jalapeno cheddar beer bread. And we'll see you again real soon, right back here on Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.
Bye.